A tale of friendship and redemption. In a small village hidden among green hills and crystal clear streams, there lived a young man named Gabriel. Since birth, the world for him had been an expanse of shadows and sounds. He was blind, but he was never alone. By his side, always faithful, was Godofredo, a robust and free-spirited horse who had become his guide, his companion, and above all, his best friend. Gabriel and Godofredo had a daily routine that never failed. Every morning, after Gabriel's prayers, the two would set out together for the village market. Gabriel held the reins firmly, while Godofredo walked patiently, knowing every trail, every detour, and every corner of the village. But, as in every true friendship, things did not always go as expected. One summer day, as they headed to a flower-filled field on the outskirts of the village, Gabriel asked Godofredo to turn right. The horse, exhausted from the heat and tired of the routine, hesitated. Instead of following the command, he continued straight, ignoring his friend's request. "What happened, Godofredo? Why aren't you listening to me?" asked Gabriel, surprised. Godofredo snorted impatiently. Gabriel insisted, but the stubborn horse abruptly turned in the opposite direction. Frustration grew between them until, in a burst of irritation, Godofredo reared up and walked away, leaving Gabriel behind, alone and confused. The pain of separation was immediate. Gabriel tried calling out to him, but the sound of the hooves faded into the distance. For the first time, he truly felt lost. Night fell, and without his faithful guide, he had only his memory to rely on to return home. Each step was uncertain, and every noise seemed more threatening. Days passed, and Gabriel hoped that Godofredo would return. But that did not happen. The rebellious horse decided to explore new horizons, far from the responsibility of guiding someone. He found new paths, new adventures, and for a time, he believed he had made the right decision. But as the days went by, something began to bother him. The freedom he had sought so much was not as satisfying as he had imagined. He missed the mornings with Gabriel, the peaceful walks, and even the unwavering trust the young man placed in him. The bond he had broken now felt like an unbearable weight. Meanwhile, Gabriel tried to move on with his life, but everything seemed harder without his loyal companion. One afternoon, while walking along an unfamiliar trail, a misstep caused him to fall into a deep pit. With no one to help him, he remained there for hours, too weak to climb, surrounded by a darkness even deeper than the one he already knew. It was then that Godofredo, driven by a feeling he did not understand, decided to return to the village. Upon arriving, he overheard murmurs about a blind young man who had fallen into a well and had yet to be rescued. His heart raced. Without thinking, he ran, guided by an instinct that had always connected him to Gabriel. When he finally arrived and saw his friend at the bottom of the hole, his chest tightened. He neighed loudly, drawing the villagers' attention, who quickly gathered to help with the rescue. With effort, Gabriel was pulled out, weak and frail. But when his feet touched solid ground, the first thing he did was reach out for Godofredo. "You came back," he murmured with a tired smile, extending his hand to touch the horse's mane. Godofredo, filled with remorse, lowered his head and rested his muzzle in his friend's hand. There was no need for words. They both knew what that moment meant. Despite the distance and mistakes, their friendship was still stronger than any disagreement. Years passed, and over time, Gabriel grew. His dark hair turned silver, and his steps became slower. Godofredo also felt the weight of age but never left his friend's side. Even when he was no longer as agile, he still walked beside Gabriel, guiding him with patience and loyalty. But time is relentless. One day, upon waking, Gabriel knew that his journey was coming to an end. He called Godofredo close and, with a weak smile, whispered, "Thank you, my friend, for never truly abandoning me." That night, Gabriel passed away peacefully, leaving behind a legacy of friendship and loyalty. Godofredo, feeling the absence of his companion, stayed by his side until the very last moment, as he always had. Sometimes, we think that freedom means distancing ourselves from responsibilities, but the true meaning of life lies in the bonds we build. Godofredo learned this the hard way. He was never the same again but carried with him the lesson that true friendship overcomes any obstacle and that lost time can never be recovered. If this story touched your heart, share it and remember, never put off until tomorrow what can be said or done today. Time is precious, and the opportunities to love and value those around us are rare and unique.